So my name is Tobias. I am born and raised in Stockholm, Sweden. So my accent is a feature, not a bug. And I am a proud general manager of Mentimeter North America. We are originally a Swedish company, but we are a very global company. And it's what Mentimeter is actually that we are a presentation tool that is designed to make meetings better. Meetings like this, or meetings very small when you're your own little team of 5 people, or if you're having a TED Talk of 5,000 people. So I'm actually going to use our tool today to make sure so we can see how it actually is to have a meeting in a slightly better way. So let's see, we're also actually in the tool already. This is fantastic. So maybe you can join the Menti. So if you use your phone, if you have one, or if you have a laptop or any screen with a Wi-Fi or some kind of connection to internet, you scan the code, or you scan the QR code, or you go to menti.com, 92, 13, 85, 69, to get there. And we will actually co-create this meeting together. So what you can do while I'm talking about the 6 minutes I have left is that you can send in your questions. You can upvote other people's questions if you think it's a good one. You can also interact in other different ways. I will ask you questions. So I will gather the input from this meeting from all of you to see if we can make this presentation a little bit more engaging. So while you're doing this, I can actually do some humble bragging about what Mentimeter is accomplished so far. So we were born, so to say, in 2014 in Stockholm, Sweden, by 4 people. We are now 340 people in 3 different time zones. We are in Stockholm, we are in Sydney, in Australia, and we are here in Toronto since November 2021. We have about 400 million people that have at least once used our product, and we have 23 million customers, and we are growing over 30% year over year, and we have a ARR, so to say, like annual recurring revenue of $50 million. So we are pretty successful, I would say. But with that being said, there's so many meetings out there and so many more organizations that could be better at harvesting collective intelligence of the room. So that's the mission for us, to make more voices heard so people can really unleash their full potential in a meeting, in an organization, in their teams. Okay, so we're all here. Perfect. Great. Let's see. So in order for me to be better to actually give something to you, because I think that's one of the things that Jason said to me earlier on when I moved here, was that like, hey, this is all about the community. How can we together bring this community to a better stage by sharing more things? So I've actually prepared a couple of things I would like to share with you. However, I would like to have your input. And by actually knowing more about you, I will be better to present the things that are relevant to you. So let's start off by saying, who are we here? Okay, we have a lot of Toronto tech junkies. We have a couple of, well, not a couple, we have 28 founders at least. Some of us are on a job hunt. That's great. We're growing. Students, at least 1 investor. That's cool. A couple of media, a couple of government. It's okay. So Toronto tech junkies, founders, and job hunters. Cool. Next question then. What would you like to know more about? I will only talk about one of these 3. So I will either talk about why a Swedish tech company choose to set up our North American office in Toronto, or I will share my lessons of how to actually migrate a culture from Europe to North America and our F-ups doing that, or I'm going to talk about what Swedish, Canadian, Brazilian leadership has in common. So the majority will rule, as it usually is in this space. Okay. Why a Swedish company choose to set up our office in Toronto? Have a clear lead. I will give you 10 more seconds to think and see if lessons in cultural migration is getting a bump or no. I could now choose to hide this so we will not influence each other, but I choose to see if we can get it anyways. Okay. It seems like I'm going to talk about why a Swedish company chose to set up our office in Toronto, not anyone else. Cool, I'm happy to do that. Okay, so why TO? maybe we should start by why North America. Well, it's maybe perhaps pretty obvious for most people here, but we're a Swedish company. We've been in Stockholm since 2014, as I said, and then yes, we're very much global, but then the question comes up, if you're a tech company, do you really have to be close to your customers? And we really believe so, because there's so much we need to do in order to help our clients to really use the product in a way that you can use it on a daily basis. And that's really hard to do when you are asleep, when our customers are also awake. So it's super important for us to be close to our customers, close to our higher educational institutions, close to our business companies to make sure that we can help them in the best possible way. So North America, of course, is a great region to grow, and it's also where there's a lot of colleges and universities and a lot of businesses and a lot of meetings being held. Okay, so that's why we're basically going to be in North America. So why Toronto and why not Arkansas or New York or something else? So there's basically 5 keys here. So the first one, what we decided, is that 1, the tech scene here is fantastic. As you know, it seems like there's a lot of founders in this. As you could see, over was it 28 people that are actually founders of companies. That vibrant tech scene and also your future success, and you're going to run a lot of meetings, you're going to have an organization that you need to harvest the collective intelligence from. So that is a huge potential for us. Then also, as you can see, talent pool is a big thing. You have great universities in Toronto. There's a lot of great talent coming abroad to Toronto to really establish themselves and to show what they got. And we are here to grow as well as a company, so we really need that sales tech talent. And the third one, as you can see here, is the time zone. Since we're in Stockholm, that's 6 hours apart. If we would be in San Francisco, for example, that will be that we will have no collaboration between the offices, basically. So there's a lot of great things about Toronto. Another great thing, which is basically for me, maybe the more personal one, is that it's an extremely welcoming community. And that is something I didn't know before we made this decision, but something I can really feel. And another thing is that the welcoming community, if you take it on a more abstract level, is that we thought about going to New York first. But then, to be a little bit spicy here, the United States of America citizens had another president prior to the one that's here, and that person said that should have a Muslim ban. We are a company with great diversity. We are 350 people, but we have people representing over 52 different nationalities. And for us to really be able to go between the offices and to learn from each other is key. And if we're going to establish us in the US, it was just way too much risk to open an office there if our colleagues could not go back and forth. So thank you, Canada. Thank you, Toronto, for having a welcoming society and also welcoming migration laws. Right. So that was, let's see, how are we with time, Jason? Yeah? Still have another minute? Okay, then, well, let's take another one then. That's perfect. Okay, so here's some lessons from how to get from Stockholm and the European culture that we have there and migrating it to the North American tech scene here in Toronto. And we had some learnings, definitely. So we have been here about 28 months now. We have grown from 8 people to 52. We're going to be about 65 to 75 before the end of this year and aiming to be more than 100 within 2 years. So we have a lot of learning still to do, but I'm going to share just a quick one learning that we have as a company now after a couple of, a little bit over 2 years here. So first off, our foundation is very much in our culture. And that culture is, if you ever meet any one of my lovely colleagues, you will see they're extremely high performing. And also, they actually have a life outside work. So their well-being is pretty nice. And we were super proud of that in Stockholm. And we really wanted to make sure that we got that high-performing, well-being culture also here in North America. And we were like, okay, let's do this. And the thing that it has to do with is basically we believe that if you work together, as you see here, that we really believe in the power together. Because if you only work as individuals, you will not actually harness the collective power that you have in your team. And in order to do that, you really have to know each other. And in order to do that, you really need to be aligned in how you want to treat each other and how you want to treat problems in order to actually be fast in iterating, fast in how you attack problems. And we saw this basically like, okay, we have this something that we're super proud of. How can we make sure that we don't lose it or F it up when we go to Toronto? So we saw it as basically like this. Oh, sorry, I will do it like this because we don't have time. Let's see. We saw this like a Venn diagram. Okay, we have our culture that we know of and we're super proud of. And then we're coming to a slightly new culture. It's the Toronto tech scene. It's like, how big is the overlap? So I'm just going to ask you one question here. Just based on your perception of Mentimeter so far and your knowledge about the Toronto tech scene, how big do you think the Venn diagram overlap is? Is it 0%, no overlap at all? Or is it somewhere in like 100% total overlap? Or is it somewhere in between? Oh, it's a big... Yeah, you can see some of them say it's 0 overlap. At least one think it's a total overlap. That's super interesting. I will show that the correct answer, very scientific here. But we thought it's like, okay, it's about 90% because we think there's a lot of values that we share. But the thing here, that the big learning is that, yes, we were actually pretty correct, I would say, that the overlap is very, very big. We have a lot of commonalities. However, what we did not know or did not put enough emphasis on is the shiver that is actually not overlapping. And we made too many assumptions, making me and other leaders especially a bit of a well-intentioned bull in a china shop. We had good intentions with everything we did, but it was perceived in a way that was not intentional. So what we should have done is, well, we could have used our product better to actually make sure to listen to everyone who was there, but to really, really get to know the community. And the TechTO has actually been a part of that. So thank you. So really listen to like what is driving you, what's the context, what's the law of the land, what is the incentives here to really learn how to lead, how to make decisions, to make sure that everyone feels that they are seen and heard. So I would really like to say that like the learnings here is to assume less and to listen more. And what you can do about that is that, yeah, to understand the why, because then when we know why we're here, when we know what our ambitions are and how things will actually be perceived, then we can be way more aligned in how we do things. So that's a big learning, and this is how we look now. It's pretty high, well-balanced, high efficiency, and really, really well-being. So thank you so much for your time. I will now take some questions.
I think you should just take the top question from Mentimeter.
Sure. Let's see what we can see. Whoa, what happened here? Maybe the one that controlling the computer can open the Q&A. That would be awesome. Mm-hmm.
I believe the question is, what's trending on Zoo Life right now?
Yeah, where are you? Weird, no?
Orangutans. Everybody, yeah. Baby Wally is trending right now.
Okay, what's the second question?
Cool, the second one then. See if you press enter, it takes the next one. What's up? Mostly, it's cool to be here. Okay, so where's the after party?
You got to wait till the end to find out. I think we all see how cool Menti can be. So a round of applause for Tobias.
Thank you. Thank you.